back now, and we are in the kitchen as we welcome from Sharp Electronics, Patricia Smith, home economist and microwave cooking expert. Nice to have you with us today.
Thank you. Nice to be here.
Now, you're from Memphis, home based in Memphis. You know, as I said a moment ago, I have flirted with getting a microwave oven, but there are a couple of things that concern me, and I'm sure that these are things not unfamiliar to you. First of all, and most importantly, the safety factor. You hear from time to time that microwave ovens may not be safe, or at least in the early years. Is that all taken care of now?
They're one of the safest appliances in the home today. There's never been a reported case of any harm. If you have a television or an FM radio in your home, you should have no fear of a microwave. It's right in the same frequency, same wavelength.
So you can't get attacked by microwaves?
Not unless you drop it on your toe.
I have a feeling you said that before. Let me ask you this then. Number two, you can't make, some of the food is just not as good as it is in the oven. For instance, like a turkey. You want a nice brown, crispy turkey, and when you put it in a microwave oven, it comes out kind of pale white and kind of soggy. True or false?
False. We've overcome that objection. A microwave will brown to an extent, but today we're going to be cooking in a convection microwave that will combine the fan-forced hot air to give you the golden brown turkey skin and the speed of a microwave so you can still do it fast.
Okay, so what you're saying then is the technology has gone one step further, and if you want the advantages of a microwave, which is the quick cooking and all that, but also the look and feel of conventional cooking, you're talking about getting one of these guys.
That's right. Plus, a conventional straight microwave will do a lot of that also with enhancing products and browners and things that are available.
Okay, we're going to be doing a bunch of stuff today. We're going to be cooking healthy, and I understand that a microwave oven is a very, very good device, and we'll talk about that. But you told me, you kicked me, just said, get the broccoli in the oven quick. So, okay, here we have some average, everyday, fresh broccoli.
Fresh broccoli, and you'll see I just put, just about a tablespoon of water, if that much, in there to create the steam. It's important the arrangement I arranged it in so the stems are towards the outside because microwaves cook from the outside. Those will cook, get a little bit more microwave energy, and then the...
All right, so there really are little things that you have to, you just can't go ahead. I mean, somebody might, like me, I would just throw them in and not know that the stems have to be out.
Well, broccoli's not going to make as much difference as something like chicken pieces, but it still does help.
Okay.
Now, we'll place it in the oven on our carousel.
That's quite a machine you got there.
Now, we're going to use a feature called sensor cook because the more food, the longer it takes to cook in a microwave. And this particular oven has a special sensor. I put fresh vegetables and then start, and it's actually going to smell the gases or the vapor of the food and figure out how long to cook that amount.
Yeah. Interesting. Speaking of smell, just before we went on the air, you made these muffins, and I mean, the whole studio smelled absolutely wonderful, because this is what, can I try one of these, by the way?
Sure.
One of the questions I was going to ask you is, I've also heard that a microwave oven is not particularly good for baking.
Okay, with a microwave oven, if you're going to bake biscuits or bread from scratch, you don't have that outside heat for the browning and crisping. Now, bran muffins such as these would be good in a microwave because they're already brown in color. These particular muffins were done in a metal pan, which you wouldn't use in a straight microwave, but in the convection microwave, it was fine. And because we can bake from 100 degrees to 450 degrees, we bake these at 400 degrees like you would in your oven.
I get the impression that this convection microwave oven is just a lot better in so many ways. Again, you can use a regular metal pan that you would have at home, as opposed to, I know some microwave things you have to get special equipment, special utensils, special plates, that type of thing.
I never encourage anybody to buy a lot of new cookware, because what you have right in your kitchen, this is just a pie plate that we're doing the broccoli in, and go home, see what you already have, and then there will be a few pieces that you may want to pick up. Round shapes cook better than squares and oblongs, for instance.
All right. We'll show you the phone numbers again if you have any questions about microwave cooking today. Patty Smith, our guest, we'll be most happy to take your call. Without getting too overly technical, how does a microwave oven work? How does it cook things as quickly as it does?
The microwaves, which are about 5.5 inches long, as they enter the cavity, they're attracted to the water molecules in the food. When they hit the food, those water molecules vibrate about 2.5 million times a second, which causes friction, which is the heat that cooks the food.
So your food is vibrating in there?
The water molecules of the food, yes.
I'll be darned.
And the more water molecules in the food, the longer it takes to cook than fewer water molecules. Like if you're heating up a biscuit or a dinner roll or a bran muffin, it heats up very quick because there's very few water molecules. In bread, whereas there's many more water molecules in a roast or a chicken.
Gotcha. All right, let's go to the phones and see what some of our viewers have for you this morning. Good morning. You're on the air with Patricia Smith.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Mrs. Smith, I live in Lakeland, and I have a Sharp Carousel 2. Now, do you know what I'm cooking on?
Right.
Okay, I've noticed on the inside of the door, a little bit of light comes through when it's, turned on. Are the waves coming out of there harmful?
There's no problem with that at all. I know exactly what you're talking about. We put our light bulb up in that corner, and the outside wrapper of the microwave, some of the light will shine through that. That's just the light bulb for the oven, but there's absolutely no way that any microwaves can come out of there.
Patty, we said this morning when you came on that we were going to be cooking healthy. Is the way food is prepared in a microwave oven particularly advantageous for again, cooking healthy, a better way to cook?
Absolutely. Today what we're doing is a high-fiber, low-cholesterol, low-fat meal. The broccoli, we're going to do fish, and of course the bran muffins provide the fiber. But it is much healthier because your many vitamins and minerals are heat-sensitive and water-sensitive. And you saw we added very little water to the broccoli. We're steaming it, and we're retaining all the natural vitamins, minerals, color, flavor. Plus, you're not boiling it and breaking down the fibers in the vegetables like you would conventionally. You know when you do corn on the cob and your water's yellow, you pour it down the drain, that's vitamins and minerals and flavor and color that you're pouring off.
What about folks on the, right now, very, very popular low salt, low cholesterol diets?
Right.
Microwave cooking very conducive to that type of cooking.
Chicken and fish cook beautifully in a microwave, and those are things that aren't really that brown in appearance anyway. And you're using very little fat, if any, in your cooking, so the little bit of fat allowance you may have on your diet can be used in enhancing the flavor during eating. You're not cooking with all of that fat.
Yeah, because that is a consideration, isn't it?
Right.
The flavor. Okay, what's happening now?
My broccoli is done. Now, anytime you're cooking in a microwave,
and that's
standing
not hot.
time, it's a little bit warm from the heat from the food.
Yeah.
I can pull it out without pot holders, but it's warm because the food is hot itself. Now, this needs to sit for a minute or so because the heat left in it finishes cooking.
Okay.
Let's go ahead and put our fish in. I've made a lemon parsley sauce with a little bit of diet margarine in it for this special diet. And we place this on our fish fillets. Now, if you'll notice, the widest portion of the fish is towards the outside and the thinner portion towards the inside.
Okay,
this will help it to cook better.
I'll tell you what we're going to do. We will put the fish in the microwave oven, and we will take a short break. When we come back, we'll talk more fish. We'll also talk money and all the gizmos that you get on these things, okay?
Great.
Find out what we need. So Murphy in the Morning will continue after a short break. Not yet, no. Look at those muffins. I'm having a wonderful time this morning. Patty Smith is talking about microwave cooking. I'm eating as much as I can, as quickly as possible, and somebody's on the phone. So as I continue eating, we'll go back to the phones. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hi.
Hi.
I have got the Sharp convection microwave oven, and I love it. I've had it since May.
Oh.
Great.
And as a matter of fact, I even slow-cooked some baked beans in it for about 4 hours the other day.
Really? How much you pay for it?
And they turned out great.
How much did you pay for that?
I bought it through a rich plan, and I'm making payments on it. But it worked into our finances. The only trouble that I'm having, I've not used my regular oven or my stove really much since I've got it, maybe once or twice.
Really?
But I am having a little bit of difficulty with my cooking chicken, and I don't know what I'm doing wrong. My husband eats the breast parts, and so I cook a whole chicken in it, but I cut it up, and his parts don't ever seem to get cooked. I don't know should I put them in earlier, or am I arranging them wrong, maybe?
Are you doing the chicken in straight microwave or on the CompuCook, or the chicken roast or the chicken broiled?
Well, I've not used the CompuCook with the roast or broiled. I have done microwave, and I've also tried straight convection.
I think with the oven that you have, to get the very best results on that chicken, if you'll put it in and you cut it up in pieces, so you'll probably want to broil the pieces on the lower rack that comes with the unit. Put in chicken broiled, it lasts in the pounds, put in your pounds, and then let the oven preheat to 450, and it'll calculate the time for broiling.
You guys are talking a whole different kind of lingo. Is this pretty easy to pick up on? I mean, this type of thing?
Right.
Yeah.
It really is. If you have this particular oven, it's just a matter of reading the use and care manual.
Oh, you have to do that, huh?
You have to.
This machine is saying stand, cover. What does that mean?
That means that it's the standing time, like the broccoli, sat there for a few minutes. This has been sitting here for a minute or so. And
Is this fish ready now?
well, the heat that is left in the food finishes cooking it. That's why by the time you set the table and get everything to the table and the people around, it will be ready to eat.
Oh, ooh,
because
that
the heat
smells
left
wonderful.
in it finishes cooking it.
Now you use
Probably fine to
you
eat
use
now.
the oh, do I get to do this?
If
You
you
ate the diet. You use diet margarine because you're trying to make this a healthy meal, right?
Well, we're talking low fat, low cholesterol, and high fiber, and if we put
What
a
kind-
lot
what
of
kind of
butter
fish is
on
this?
there, that's flounder, fillet of
Whoops.
flounder.
That's real good. Matter of fact, that's excellent. I'll tell you what I want to find out from you is how much does that thing cost?
This one, well, microwaves will range anywhere from about $129 to $600.
How do you determine what you need? You know, normally, unfortunately, it's only after you get a device that you say, gee, I wish I'd got something that does more, or conversely, you'd say, I don't need all these gizmos on, because really there are a lot of bells and whistles available on these things. Is there a way to determine your needs ahead of time?
My major job is training salespeople to sell microwave ovens, and one of the things I always talk about is qualifying customers. First of all, if you need to find out what kind of cook are. If you like to cook fast and get out of the kitchen, you don't really enjoy cooking, you don't need all of this. You don't need convection because you're not a chef, you don't bake that much, you don't need this top-of-the-line convection.
Yeah.
Okay, and if you like to cook, then you're going to buy this. Then we need to decide how many people you're cooking for. That will determine what size to put in your kitchen.
Yeah.
Then we need to determine where you're going to place it, whether you want one that goes over the range, or you have a very small spot on your countertop, or whether you're going to put it on a cart or hang it under the cabinet.
Yeah.
Then we need to determine whether you'd rather have the touch or the dial.
And again, as is the case with anything, you get what you pay for. The more goodies, the more convenience.
Right, but the cooking in the dial will be just as good as the cooking in the touch.
And $600 is about the top of the scale, right?
That's right here.
That
right.
guy, the Rolls-Royce of microwave ovens right there.
And 10 years ago, you paid that for the very basics.
Yeah, okay, time for one or two more phone calls. Good morning, you're on the air.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, my turn. Good morning.
I'm interested in a problem baking custard. I have a 9-year-old Sharp with a carousel and have been very pleased with it. But I still have a problem with custard being a little soupy. The top is fine, but maybe you could give me some help. Now, my book that came with the microwave doesn't call for putting the custard in water. So I don't do that, but I do put the custard in a ring, the outer edge, and it calls for 6 minutes at roast.
Right.
Okay, can you help?
Okay, are you allowing plenty of standing time on your custard?
Yes, but I still find that at the bottom it's still a little soupy.
Well,
The top seems to be fine.
What do you think?
what happens when you cook it a little longer than you're cooking it?
Well, then, of course, it gets watery, a little watery, which I don't like.
Well, it's a 9-year-old machine, and maybe the micros are getting old and weak.
Well, really, 9 years old is not that old for a microwave. It still cooks very well. Maybe you want to try another recipe, and then if that's not the problem, you probably just want to cook it a little bit longer, still on maybe on a medium, which is a simmer on your oven rather than a roast.
You know, something, Patricia, that you didn't mention, and I'm sure you're aware of, the microwave cooking. Now, this is taking it to the simplest end, but for single people, even the smaller ones, I have a friend that he swears by it because he can throw in the TV dinners and the pot pies and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, it's ready to go. Also a baked potato, if he feels like having a baked potato. I mean, I don't know how long they take, but it's only a matter of minutes, isn't it?
And that's one of the reasons it's much more healthier, because in the time it takes to run out and get hamburgers and french fries or pizza or grab crackers and cheese, you can cook fish or chicken and vegetables in the microwave, and you don't have all that waiting time in
Yeah.
the kitchen to nibble and snack, and it's easier to go home and cook than it is to go out.
Okay,
to
well,
eat.
our time is up, and as is the case with microwave cooking, it was a very, very fast half hour, and we do thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Patricia Smith, and we will, oh, by the way, hey, look at that, an address. If you would like recipes for microwave cooking, simply send a self-addressed stamped envelope to Test Kitchen, Sharp Electronics, 10 Sharp Plaza, Cute, Paramus, New Jersey, 07652. Hope you get a chance to get that address down. Now we will take a short break, and we'll be right back.